After judgment had fallen, the camp was hushed, yet not with despair, but with resolve. The Lord's favor had returned, and this time his people would not advance in pride. No trumpets, no falling walls, only obedience, discipline, and a leader steady in faith. Joshua stood before his captains, his eyes lit with purpose. Here, in the glow of a single lantern, a new kind of battle was drawn. A war not of chance, but of choice. A hidden army waiting for its moment. Beneath the crescent moon, 30,000 men moved like shadows across the valley floor. Not a shout, not a song, only the sound of sandals pressing dust. Their hearts beat in rhythm, a silent drum of resolve. They were more than an army. They were a promise renewed, the hand of God's justice carried in human strength. Every step carried the weight of a second chance. And in the silence of that night march, one truth echoed. Failure is not the end when the Lord leads his people forward. Once more, Israel appeared before the gates of Ai. Yet their hearts were different now, not swelling with pride, but steady under command. From the walls, the king looked down and smiled. To him, this was the same story repeating. To Israel, it was the start of a trap written by God himself. Then, just as before, Israel broke. Their line shattered. Men stumbled, fleeing down the plain in a storm of dust and fear. The Canaanites roared, their pride swelling as they poured from their gates. But this was no collapse. Every fall, every cry, every desperate glance backward was part of a greater design. The king of Ai believed victory was in his grasp. In truth, he was stepping into the jaws of a snare. And behind them, unseen, the earth itself seemed to rise as 30,000 men surged through Ai's open gates. The city, once loud with arrogance, fell silent, its streets consumed in flame. Thick smoke curled into the heavens, a signal to the fleeing men. The trap was sprung. This was no accident, no chance. This was discipline and obedience meeting the favor of the Lord. Ai, proud and sure, had been undone by its own confidence. Caught between two forces, the men of Ai turned to find their escape swallowed. Before them, Israel no longer fled, but fought with the steadiness of a people restored. Behind them, the ambush thundered forward, sealing every path. From the ridge, Joshua lifted his spear and did not lower it until the last foe had fallen. It was not the strength of arms alone, but the strength of obedience that carried the day. Ai had mocked Israel once. Now it stood as a monument to what happens when pride meets the justice of God. Yet Israel's story did not end with fire and battle. Their true inheritance was not stone walls or captured fields. It was covenant. At Mount Ebal, Joshua built an altar of rough, uncut stones. Upon it, he inscribed the words of the law. Then, in the hearing of the entire nation, men and women, children and strangers alike, the law of Moses was read aloud. The people listened, not as conquerors, but as a family bound by promise. Their victory was more than land. It was a return to the heart of their God. From the ashes of defeat, Israel was given a second chance. At Ai, obedience replaced pride, and discipline walked hand in hand with faith. Their victory was not only over an enemy, but over the despair of failure. And at Mount Ebal, the people learned again that true strength does not come from spears or walls, but from walking in covenant with the Lord. The same God who restored Israel offers us the same mercy today. New chances, new beginnings when we return to Him. Before we end episode 6, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a friend or family member that the message can reach others too. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram on Real Bible Story. Now you can say this prayer in your heart.
Lord, teach me to obey you, not just in great battles, but in the quiet choices of every day. When I fail, lift me up. When I stumble, guide my steps back to you. May my life, like Israel's, be a living altar that honors your name. Amen.